Well, thank you so much. This is really a pleasure to be part of this great group. I see everybody up here. It's wonderful to know of you and see you, and really congratulations on all the work that you're doing in climate change. Women in climate change is just fantastic. I am happy to be here with two of my colleagues, Simbo Sujinran and Fatma Muzo. Together we are going to talk to you today a little bit about Solar Sister. Solar Sister is an organization that we're about 10 years old, started from a project, turned into a social enterprise, and have really grown over the years. We are empowering women and working with women in local communities to build clean energy businesses, bringing solar lights, home systems, clean cook stoves to their most likely off-grid communities. So we're working in Nigeria and Tanzania and really helping transform lives and livelihoods and helping people access often energy for the first time, other than burning kerosene for light or cooking over open stone fires. They're now lighting their homes and cooking their dinners using more advanced technologies such as solar and efficient cooking. And this just has an amazing ripple effect of impact across the women and their families and their communities, and even the world, as this is, as we see people moving up out of poverty and in development, the need for energy increases. And so by starting them on a pathway towards renewable energy to meet those energy needs, it really does have this global impact. So we think of ourselves as a grassroots organization with a global impact. I want to share a video with you to get us started, just to give you a sense of the work that we're doing. And then I'm going to hand it over to Fatma and Simbo, because they're going to give you a much more in-depth understanding of the impact and the work itself. So let me try to share my screen. This one. And
in Africa, women are using business and clean energy to transform lives. These women bring light, hope, and opportunity to their communities. These women are Solar Sister entrepreneurs. 3/4 of Africa's population live without access to modern energy. Smoky kerosene lamps and open fires make the simple daily tasks of cooking, studying, traveling, or running a business a challenge. Women, caring for their families and homes, often bear the greatest burden. But women are also the key to change. Women are committed to creating brighter futures. Women are responsible for managing light and fuel in their homes. And women have trusted roles within communities to create widespread change. Solar Sister helps local women launch clean energy businesses and earn an income. Each Solar Sister entrepreneur buys her lights and cook stoves from Solar Sister, then sells and delivers them woman to woman, to her family, to her friends, to her neighbors. Solar Sister entrepreneurs bring light and energy right to the doorstep. Solar Sister provides the backbone of these women's enterprise, decreasing the risks and costs they face when they start a business. We partner with local communities so that more women in more places have the opportunity to launch a business and bring energy to their communities. We train our entrepreneurs in business skills and pair them with a mentor. We bear the cost of delivering the life-changing, innovative, affordable technology from the manufacturers to our entrepreneurs so they can reach the people who need it most.
ariko mbona aya matara ampa urumuri rw'icyizere cyiza nzagira ejo hazaza. Mfite icyizere ntabwa n'urumuri rw'aya matara mu gihe kiri imbere ndimo kujyamo.
Mwenyezi Mungu amenijalia, nimenunua ng'ombe wangu ninayemjua kwamba huyu ni wa kwangu mwenyewe na nimemnunua kwa faida ya biashara ya majiko. Tangu nimekuwa
mjasiriamali wa Solar Sister, nimekuwa mtu maarufu sana. Watu wengi wameniona kama mkombozi wa jamii.
Light, hope, opportunity.
So thank you for watching, and I hope that gives you a bit of a sense of environment that we're working with and the incredible women that we're working with. Now, I would like to introduce you to Simbo Sejinran and Fatma Muzo, who have joined us today. And Simbo, I'll hand it over to you first.
Okay, thank you, Catherine. And hello, everyone. It's such an honor to be here and to be speaking here today. I know that I was cutting in and out during the video, so I really hope that my internet is stable enough to take me through this presentation. But I wanted to also just share part of what we do here in Africa. And I think the video already kind of has given a beautiful overview of really what we do, but I'll just take us through a little bit more in depth. So I know the challenge is big. I read recently last week that, you know, the world is sick of hearing this number of 600 million people in Africa living without electricity. We've been saying this for quite a number of years now, and I'd rather like to refocus the discussion to what we are doing about it and how we are trying to change this narrative of energy poverty, what Solar Sister is doing to correct this imbalance. And there is an imbalance, and the reason is that the challenges associated with energy poverty disproportionately affect women. And this part of this is cultural in the way that women are traditionally the managers of energy in the home. And part of it is just the patriarchal society that most African societies are, where women are they're responsible for a lot of how chores are done in the home, how food is cooked, how energy is used in the home. And so we find that these issues, these different challenges disproportionately affect women. So I think this is one of the key reasons why we exist as an organization, why we are bringing the Solar Sister solution. And it's really just a women to women's network that is providing clean energy solutions to the different communities in where there's a Solar Sister. So we have this big goal where we're looking at this challenge being resolved by women entrepreneurs. That's a brighter world, which is powered by women entrepreneurs. But as an organization, the things that we do to achieve this is providing women with the economic opportunity, which is the business opportunity, technology, which is a range of clean energy products from small lamps to solar home systems to clean cook stoves. We do a lot of training, coaching, and business support and mentoring to ensure that it's not a one-touch project, but it's actually hand-holding women through this entrepreneurship journey of starting a clean business and growing it into something that is beneficial to not just themselves, but to also their communities, their households and their communities. And the idea is that it will save money, it will save time, it will improve education, it will improve the health, connectivity, and then also community safety. And we actually have impact stories that have showcased that in the communities where Solar Sisters are existing, we're able to reap some of these benefits. Let's see. All right, so just to give you like a visual of the types of products. So when we say the Pico lanterns, it's just lamps that can replace your traditional candle or the naked film or the lanterns. And what that just does is to just provide lights. And then we have the upgrade of that you can do power like very small appliances like your cell phone and really small appliances. And then of course we have the solar solutions where the entire household is covered. And we believe that it's a ladder. And in a lot of communities that we are, this is the first touch that they are having with clean energy. And then with that, they continue to grow across this ladder, and where we are going into more recently mini grids, microgrids, and grids that actually will take the entire community needs. Yeah, and what are the impact? The impact is actually spreads across. So even though women's economic empowerment is really our focus on entrepreneurship, we find that we're able to reap additional benefits such as women's leadership and improved education and health, community safety, business growth, and actually women who are just, have more agency, are able to actually be the solution providers in their communities. And with that, I'll pass it on to Fatma to really take us through some of the stories, to take up the individual stories of women specifically in Tanzania and how these women have been able to navigate this energy transition. So over to you, Fatma.
Okay. Thank you, Simba. Yeah, so yeah, I'm going to share the screen. Yeah, so my name is Fatuma Muzo from Solar Sister Tanzania. Today I have 2 short success stories from women entrepreneurs in Tanzania. So starting with one of our entrepreneur, Hawa Chora. I'm from Kolo village in Dodoma region in Tanzania. She joined Solar Sister in 2013, and she has been distributing solar lanterns to her communities and neighboring villages, generating activities and helping her community with energy poverty eradication. Hawa has reinvested her profit into kickstarting a tree nursery in 2018. As you can see her on her nursery project. So she sells fruits and timber trees right now. And over the period of 2 years, Hawa has managed to plant over 1,000 trees. She has fruit-bearing trees, which are 500, as well as a timber, which are 2,000. So the price per seedling is at least 1,000 for fruit. And for trees, she gets 500 Tanzanian shillings per trees. So Hawa says, I'm thankful to Solar Sister for the entrepreneurship training and business opportunities they have given to me. I'm now able to support my family through multiple businesses, and I'm now recognized in the community as a business role models because many of the programs and agricultural projects from different NGOs now, when they want to learn on the agricultural and trees planting, they visit Hawa. So we can see how successful Hawa is, and here is her tree and fruit project. And here, as you can see her, she's on a sisterhood meeting with her team members. And the second entrepreneur, we have Martha Joseph. She's a Solar Sister entrepreneur. In pandemic, Martha has been able to continue with her business and support her family after continuing to receive virtual entrepreneurship training. She also received the PPEs and business credits from the Solar Sister Business Booster Program. During the pandemic period, we changed our program support to our entrepreneurs to virtual trainings, and we also provided them with the PPE so that they can continue doing their business, as most of them were worried to go out, do their businesses, and they were staying home, hence their income were mostly affected. So Martha learned how to connect with her customers and networking by using the phone call as well as using referrals from our existing customers to get new customers during the pandemic. So we provided the entrepreneurs on the new ways of doing their businesses and connecting with their customers by using the phone calls and by using the same customers to connect with the other customers. So you can see that is Martha. And also Martha says that you can see Martha on the sisterhood meeting. The sisterhood meeting is where the entrepreneurs gather and meet, and they receive training, coaching, and mentoring, as how Simba was explaining. So Martha says, COVID-19 awareness and vital training support from Solar Sister has strengthened my business and my confidence and the grit to continue with my business during the difficult time. Because at that time, most entrepreneurs, their confidences, and they were worried to go outside to do their business. But through the virtual training and continuous support to them, they continue to gain confidence and continue doing their business even during the difficult time. So Solar Sister has shown me a path to successful business and continuous engagement in the society. Yeah, so these are like 2 short stories from our entrepreneurs.
Thank you both so much. So I just want to wrap up with a few comments about Solar Sister. As you can see, it is very grassroots. We are really working, we sometimes call it the first light at the last mile, meaning that this is the first time people are using modern technology to provide light for their homes, living in the hardest to reach rural communities, the last mile on the distribution channel. And so this intersection of these 2 things is where the impact is really the greatest, because we're seeing people's lives just absolutely transformed by having access to energy. And by having access to clean energy is both incredibly practical because there is no wire overhead, there's no grid to connect to. And so solar as a distributed energy source is not only the most practical, it's also the most cost effective for them, because it really is, I think we all used to think of solar power as kind of a luxury item, kind of a luxury green, but for many people in the world where they don't have access to electricity, and with the price drop of solar over the past 10 years, it is now not just a luxury, but it's incredibly practical, best price option for people. It's truly affordable. And so Solar Sister is built on a social enterprise model where people are actually purchasing the solar. And so while we provide a lot of philanthropic support to the entrepreneurs to help build up their business ability and support them in building their businesses, they are actually investing in those businesses by buying inventory, turning that inventory over again and again and again. And so these are sustainable, scalable businesses. We have reached over 5,000 women entrepreneurs. So you can think of that as 5,000 little mini, utility companies around the world, in Nigeria and Tanzania, small, providing electricity to their communities. And through those 5,000 entrepreneurs have reached over 2 million people with energy access. And to put that in comparison, you can look at any large scale utility, at least here in the United States, somebody like a Pico or somebody like that has probably about 2 million customers. And so while it may look like small and grassroots, it is truly an enormous endeavor that has grown to on the innovation and the ingenuity and the energy of these women entrepreneurs. So thanks for listening to our story. We'd love to invite you to follow along with us. You can go to our website, which is solarsister.org. You can follow us on Twitter, which is solar_sister. Instagram is I am Solar Sister. So, join us, because we especially enjoy sharing the stories of the entrepreneurs like you heard today. And I have to say, it makes my day, my week, when I hear about these women. I'm so inspired by them every day, that hearing about what they're doing in the face of the hardships, like this past year with COVID, and how innovative they have been in their, their approach and their ability to continue on and build their businesses. We're currently supporting them with a project right now, which is a donor, Energia, you may know of, has very generously supported a solidarity fund, which is allowing some of these entrepreneurs who, continue to work on their businesses, but did have a big economic impact this past year, and many of them had to eat into their business capital simply to keep food on the table for their families. You know, often as their husband, who maybe was a teacher or something like that, lost his job, the full burden of caring for the family and supporting the family fell on them and their entrepreneurship. At a time when the market was really difficult. So many of them ate into their business capital during this time. And so the Solidarity Fund is helping them with a cash injection to really bring that capital back into their business and rebuild better than before. So if you'd like to support that, you can reach out to me and I'll put you in touch and help make sure that anything that goes to support makes its way to one of the Solar Sister entrepreneurs. So thanks.
Catherine, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
I was experimenting with the mute button and then I didn't know if I'd turn myself off, but I've got a couple of questions, and then Kat, I'll turn it over to you if you, if there are any questions in the chat box that could be good for reading out as well. But I've got two questions. The first is, I've been reading on Project Drawdown. There is a body of research that is growing to show that quite literally, if you invest in women's girls' education and also uplifting women, that it has a direct and quantifiable effect in terms of reducing carbon emissions. And if I remember rightly, they have several different, target projects that will most immediately reduce emissions. And if you add women's education and women's rights together in that list, it either approaches number one or is number one in terms of the most direct impact on immediately reducing carbon emissions. Mm-hmm. That's all I know. And I was so excited when I read that. I think it's an emerging area of research. I just wanted to ask that question to you. And then the second question was, I know we've talked a little bit about how this group could directly, support and what the easiest, quickest ways. And I think you addressed that in a moment, but I wanted to ask that question too, because I'm sure people listening will benefit.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely our direct observation as well that investment in women is immediate results. You see the impact right away. And the reason for that is the women that we're investing in are the experts at the local level of understanding what the climate change impact has been on them and on their lives and on their communities. They're farmers, they're 1 acre farmers, they see the droughts come, they see the weather patterns change, and that has impact on their livelihoods often. And so coming with a business opportunity for them means that they can build resilience in the face of climate change. They can introduce clean fuels into their community to power up their lives, whether that's simply for, living their life and cooking dinner and, taking after their children, or if that's for powering up a business. The fact that they are turning to clean energy is a way to do that is a multiplier effect. And it's women who are at this front line of living in these communities and building these businesses and caring for their communities. And so one of the great things that we see, I don't remember if any of the pictures showed it, but I'd say 99.9% of the Solar Sister meetings that we see the picture of, there'll be 5 or 10 women gathered around. They're getting business skills, they're getting support. In 99% of those meetings, at least one woman will have a baby on her hip or a toddler in tow, or there's somebody, a 6-year-old little girl looking up at her mother. And what I see out of that is, for the women that we're working with, for them to become technology experts in their communities is often quite a leap of faith. We have to help them kind of believe that they can do that, because that's not something that they've seen before. But for this next generation coming up, to see these little girls looking up at their mothers and attending these meetings, half listening or raptly watching what their mothers are doing, but they're absorbing this image of their mother is a local technology expert and entrepreneur. And so that little girl's going to grow up believing that that's possible for her. And it's not going to be a stretch. It's not going to be a leap of faith. It's going to be something that she believes that she can do. And so I think that multi-generational impact is something that I see as being just, really touches me as being a mom, but it also, I think, is really one of the longer term, this is a lasting change that we're making here.
I love that so much. I love that image. Thank you. I've got 2 daughters, so that means a lot.
And then to talk about how you might get involved, I'll just visit our website, solarsister.org, and absolutely, one of the ways that we're able, this is the work that we do day to day to day. And one of the ways that we're able to make sure that anyone who joins in with us and supports us, because we do have support from sales and because we do have support from other large grants and donors that kind of support the bulk of what we're doing, that means that anyone who's coming along and wants to give, put money to work and give, we can make sure 100% of that makes it to the women entrepreneurs, so that it's not caught, we've already taken care of business. So everything that is given to us, we really look at all of our donors as partners in the work we're doing, so that, we can just make sure that because of our connections in the rural communities, because of our connection through the sisterhood groups of our network of Solar Sister entrepreneurs, we're able to make sure that the money is delivered to them in ways that are going to be the most impactful for them, by giving them access to more inventory, by giving them access to training, by giving them, in some cases, we've had donors who have supported giving things like investing in bicycles for transportation or phones, so that they can, build their digital skills and their digital businesses. And so we make sure that the money that comes into us through donations goes directly to the entrepreneurs.
Fantastic. Kat, I think there's 1 or 2 questions. Do you want to address or to read them out?
Sure. Yeah. So we had one come in from Tara. She says she's a big fan of Solar Sister, and she's been working with clean cook stoves and clean cooking for the past 6 years. She says that every time she visits households that they work with, they show them the clean cook stoves are breaking after a few months, or if they're using LPG or ethanol, they're finding that the fuel supply is too expensive or inconsistent. And so she's curious kind of how you guys navigate those issues. And also, what do you see as the role of the entrepreneur versus the role of the stove manufacturer, distributor, and the supply chain aspect?
Okay, I'll give a brief answer, and then I think I want to hand that over. Simbo's been doing some cook stoves distributions and might be able to have some, frontline insights on that. So Solar Sister, first of all, our approach is we are very customer driven. And so we depend on and we look for customer demand to help us select which products we're going to make available to our entrepreneurs, because they can only sell what customers want. There's no pushing products out there. There's no forcing anybody to go solar or clean cook stoves. It's really very much about sharing information and making sure people are aware of the technologies and aware of the benefits, but it is then up to the customer to want to buy them. So that Solar Sister entrepreneur is really well placed to make that translation between really find that sweet spot between providing knowledge and information and marketing and being responsive to demand. So cook stoves, people love the way people cook the way they cook. And it is very, very hard to push cook stoves on communities. I think we've seen that over many years throughout, trying to get people to use cleaner cook stoves. It has been a very, very difficult effort, because often, I think often the cook stoves are designed by engineers, maybe sitting in Colorado or California. They tend to be men. They tend to design really efficient cook stoves that then they sell out through the market without a really great user experience, understanding. And so I think one of the ways, one of the issues is, you see how the cook stoves are being used. And as Tara said, sometimes they're breaking within several months. Well, I think that customer feedback needs to be put back to the manufacturers. And if we had more women in the design process, more women in the manufacturing process, more women in the business process of delivering the cook stoves, we could help to close that gap a little bit. So Solar Sister, where we are, where we have customers who have issues, we support the products with aftermarket sales. That typically means, delivering on warranties and things like that, or helping with understanding how to use the product. But it also means taking that information and feeding it back to the manufacturers to let them know that, your cook stove might have worked great in Guatemala, but it's not going to work in Northern Nigeria where they cook a completely different way. And, giving that feedback to the manufacturers. So we kind of fit in that middle role in between. And Simbo, do you have I know you have experiences and thoughts about this.
Yes, I do, but you kind of covered it, but I'll just add a little bit to it. So yes, we take our relationship as that kind of middle organization between the entrepreneurs and the manufacturer because of the partnerships that we have. First of all, one of the key things that we ensure at Solar Sister is that every single product that we're distributing has the quality verification. So in that sense, those products have warranties. So a minimum of a 1-year warranty for the actual stove and 5 years on the combustion chamber. And so to ensure that, at least the products that we are distributing have that minimum quality standard. That being said, we also act as taking the feedback directly from the communities back to the entrepreneurs. So as Catherine said, a lot of stoves are designed outside of the continent or even outside of the community and brought in. And so we find that different communities cook in different ways. You might have communities where their staple food involves like stirring, some of them involve pounding, some of them involve, they manipulate the pot in a certain way. And so the design really needs to come from that human-centered position, whereby at least we found that when that happens, and I can read what Tara is saying, like the stove manufactured by an Indian woman used in India will most probably be more efficient than another one that's come from outside of that community, from the community that they use. So yes, we do have that position, and we do regularly feedback manufacturers what we get from the groups. We do testing before we start using any product. We'll test it in the market and see that it fits with the entrepreneurs. And as Catherine said as well, the entrepreneurs, we're agnostic from the level of the actual technology. So the entrepreneur gets to choose what they think would sell in their region or what they think can be useful to their community. So yes, I think that's a really important role that we play. And we have seen product designs upgraded since we started. So I know that we've been, at least in Nigeria, we've been here almost 7 years, and we've gone from version 1 to version 2 to version 3. And a lot of this is from feedback from the team, but I know that there's still a long way to go. And we also need to promote innovation, local innovation, to kind of meet these needs. So that's what I would say.
That's fantastic. That's the only question that I had come in through the chat. So if anyone else has any additional questions, please feel free to drop that in the chat or let us know.
Overall, this has been just so inspiring. I think, and just bringing this full circle for a minute on women in climate tech. One of the visions I have for our organization is playing a role in defining what is climate tech. That was the first question we asked in our survey of members, and we've gotten a range of responses that we're analyzing, and it's wonderful. But traditionally, at least last year, there was the PricewaterhouseCoopers deep dive study on climate tech and funding going to climate tech. And their whole definition, this 100-page study, was decarbonization technology. So the kind of, bells and whistles, sucking carbon right out of the air, picture a big machine. And that was pretty much the focus of their study. And I think the opportunity here for us as an organization is to elevate other aspects of that, because all the decarbonization technology in the world is not going to solve this problem at this point in time, as we know.
Mhm.
We also have, as we learn more about the fact that elevating women and elevating girls' education has a direct impact on decarbonization, then we know it's more than just the machine created by Elon Musk, right? As the solution. We have to think about this more holistically. Climate tech needs to both address decarbonization and mitigation, but also adaptation. And nothing does more to help a society get stronger and adapt to what's coming than elevating its women. So I view it as a direct connect. Could not be more direct to climate tech. And we need to remind the world of that. I think that's one of our jobs. So thank you so much for the wonderful work you're doing.
Thank you. I just could not agree more. I think the decarbonization, I'm sure that's going to be part of what we need to focus on. But if we can avoid the carbon getting into the atmosphere to begin with, that's the most efficient of all. And so, when you think about these 600 million people who currently are burning fossil fuels for light, and we certainly hope that the level of poverty that they're living in that allows them to make more, better choices for themselves, for their families, for their energy access. We want those better choices to be renewable, clean energy choices, because if we think about 600 million people coming online and, switching from kerosene, but switching to a grid that's powered by coal or something like that, we're not going to be coming in a better direction. So, and we can't say that holding people back from prosperity is the solution.
Right.
So we've got to build in a prosperous future for people that is clean energy, and that affects all of us. And I don't think we can decarbonize that. I think we have to, jump ahead of that game.
Yeah. I think somebody was weighing in, and I apologize.
Yes.
Who was that?
Christina has a question.
Hi, Christina.
So rude. I'm sorry. I'm so animated by this group, and I've been listening with the camera off and going like, yeah, I agree. This is my first time here. I'm Christina Beckman. I am the Vice President for Strategy at the Adventure Travel Trade Association and the co-founder of Tomorrow's Air, which is focused on direct air capture, carbon removal for travel. And what I love about the conversation is this, we're talking about the education also, like the social and cultural pathways that we create and that women create. And I think it was you, Helen, who said it's not just Elon Musk's tech. And my project is very narrowly focused. Like, we would like to scale up tech alongside all the other things that need to happen. And I just love the kind of discussion that sort of embraces the holistic aspect of it. We can all be working in different chunks of it. And anyway, what I heard in there that really got me going was like this, it's not just the machine, it's how we educate and who is uplifting and who is inspiring and who is making decisions. And that is women in so many places. And I love also the just the energy that a female conversation brings to this, which is so different than the conversations. I mean, I equally have great conversations with my male counterparts, but I love this collection of women, and I'm so glad to be here. That's all.
I'm so glad you weighed in. Thank you. It's lovely to meet you. Welcome to your first meeting here. Any other questions? I see we've got a fantastic story that was just shared in Clean Techia about Solar Sister. Thank you so much. Unless there are any other questions, we'll just wrap this up. We'll be sharing snippets of this conversation in our LinkedIn group, as well as all of the credentials of Solar Sister for you to follow on social media, etc. We really appreciate everybody's time for this today's meeting of the minds. Happy Tuesday. We wish you all a safe and happy rest of the week.
Thank you so much. It was really a pleasure to meet all of you.
Pleasure.
And,
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank you all for joining.
Bye-bye.